As Kevin said, we are Volunteer West, and tonight Andy, Nathan and myself are going to present to you our pitch that is hopefully going to secure Volunteer West as the go-to volunteer organisation in the Western Suburbs. So who are Volunteer West? At the moment, we provide a face-to-face referral service for volunteers. So how it would work would be the consumer would contact Volunteer West either through the website or by phone. They'd come in for a face-to-face interview, and then we would refer them on to organisations that are looking to volunteer. At the moment, we don't follow that up to identify if that referral was successful, and we don't follow up to identify the value that that consumer may have given to that volunteer organisation. We also offer training sessions for organisations on how to best manage volunteers based on world best practice. And we offer monthly networking meetings for volunteer managers. Our funding is presently mainly from the 4 local councils that we support and also the state government. But there's 27 organisations like ours across Victoria who are all competing for this financial support and volunteers. So current trends, you can see there in 2006 volunteering was worth $16.4 billion to Victoria. But the trends with how people want to volunteer are changing. People are, as you probably all are really time poor, and they want it to be flexible. They want shorter hours and they want a shorter level of commitment. Certainly seniors or retirees remain the highest contributors to volunteering, but there has been a growing trend in the last few years towards younger people, about 11% increase in the last few years, and certainly that's the case in the Western Suburbs. But of course, the biggest challenge for the Western Suburbs is they have the lowest number of volunteers for the state.
Thanks, Catherine. Our strategic plan driving us towards 2018 is to become the go-to organisation for volunteering in the Western Suburbs of Melbourne. Our concern is that government over time and in the future may regionalise volunteering referral organisations. Therefore, we really want to cement our position in the West. The main objective for us in our strategic plan is to identify and better communicate the value that Volunteer West provides to organisations and the community alike. Our market analysis has shown that we've got 2 main target segments. That being altruistic volunteers. Altruistic volunteers need or have a definition of being able to help others at their own cost and for recognition. Our research has shown that the 4 top main reasons for volunteers to help others and their community is for personal satisfaction, for personal and family involvement in the community. It's also to do something worthwhile in the community. The second segment that we've identified is those that volunteer to gain work experience. May be necessary for members of the public to gain work experience because they might be new to a community, they might be new to an industry or new to the country. They may come from a cultural and linguistic diverse background, and they may have a disability that prevents them from gaining successful employment. We've got the real opportunity to gather the valuable insights and also the testimonials of these 2 target segments to really capture and encourage and engage new volunteers to provide their time and service. So how do we achieve our objective of becoming the go-to organisation and identifying and better communicating our value proposition? We believe that by streamlining our online service and using social media tools, as well as cloud-based solutions such as Volunteer Matrix, which Andy will talk about shortly, will really enhance the engagement of new volunteers into the volunteering space. We also believe that by ensuring that we've got the correct measures in place, so we can quantify our contribution to the community. Through analysis from the website, so seeing why people are using it, how long they're coming on for, how long it takes to fill out the forms, we can also better enhance the experience for the end user. Also by ensuring that we build a reputation of supplying and placing the right people with the right organisations where both parties benefit from the experience. If we are able to achieve all of that, we believe that we will be able to achieve our objectives.
Thanks, Matthew. Excuse me. So as we have seen that people are getting increasingly time poor, so hence the idea of being able to just log into a tool and then express their experience of volunteering would be quite appealing. So hence our recommendation as the first action plan is to invest in upgrading the website a bit, and then also invest in the services of an online tool called Volunteer Metrics and integrating that into our company website. So what that will do is it will say allow a volunteer to express, for example, just with a click of a button, his or her experience at a local kinder and expressing, say, about 2 hours of their experience there. So that's quite appealing to the people who will be looking at those information. So this is a quick snapshot of the Volunteer Metrics tool that we just mentioned. So in the words of the official documentation of this particular tool, it says that the Volunteer Matrix provides improved volunteer experience, cuts staff time, and saves money for the company. So that's exactly what we are after. So hence this is our recommendation as we discussed in the previous slide. So it provides quite a few handy features, this particular tool, and a few of them are, it allows entering hours, volunteer worked hours via a calendar interface it provides, similar to what we are seeing over here, and entering the cause for volunteering, being able to upload documents electronically. It provides a facility of online scheduling, and also for on-site work, it provides something like a kiosk kind of a feature. Which gets us to the second action plan, which is using this tool to identify what our volunteers, what value our volunteers provide to the volunteering organizations. So using these things like being able to capture their volunteering hours and the cause for why they are interested in volunteering, this will be uploaded into this volunteering metrics, which in turn will be integrated into the company website. And finally, this is the third recommendation that we have as an action plan for this strategy, which is to be able to promote or showcase these experiences via our company website, as in all this information that we gathered through Volunteer Matrix, now it's time to be able to showcase them on social media as well as on the company website. So what happens is that when volunteers are able to see success stories on company website, on social media, so potential for what it does for potential volunteers is that, and as well as volunteering organizations, is that they are able to develop more confidence towards our company by being able to learn more about the policies and the procedures that we follow. So that's one part of that, and what it does is that being able to develop more confidence means they are also more likely to be more committed and interested in volunteering work. And the second aspect to that as well is that for people who have done volunteering or are doing volunteering, so when we are able to showcase their good work on these platforms, and they're saying that their experience is being expressed at the world at large, they feel motivated. And what it does really is that it addresses their higher order goals of being able to express their work or feel an inner satisfaction of being, doing something good to the community or giving something back to the community, and perhaps gaining a better self-esteem. This is back to Catherine.
Thanks, Andy. So we believe that the strategies that we've discussed today will help embed and cement Volunteer West as one of the lead volunteer organisations in the Western Suburbs. The new platform will enable us to identify our value to the community which we serve. Once we identify the value, not just the financial, but the causes of which the volunteers are volunteering for, it will enable us to be in a better position to then move to the next strategy, which was aligning some corporate partnerships within the West. And certainly there are some key large corporate partners in the West, such as Toll Industry, which is a large employee in the Western Suburbs, and also Western Bulldogs, who already have a not-for-profit, supported not-for-profit volunteer group that looks after men's health in the Western Suburbs. So we think by understanding our true value and being able to demonstrate to that to the people that we serve, that we'll cement ourselves as a key provider in the Western Suburbs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, you start. Okay. Firstly, I'd like to say that one of the challenges, as I'm sure all three of you are now very aware, is the lack of resources that are at the disposal of not-for-profit. And I've been in the sector now for 25 years, so I've seen a few different plans come and go. And I'd just like to congratulate the three of you on developing something which is extremely achievable, needs very little investment, but I think would have a fantastic outcome. So well done. The other thing I would say about it is that very often people who come and have a look at the services are about advertising what we've already got and not actually creating anything new. And I'm very excited by the idea of the matrix, so I'm interested in where you came across that and what your thinking was in terms of coming up with something like that.
So I sort of stumbled across it really.
Okay.
I was researching about the volunteer matrix itself,
Yes.
and on Googling that found this website, Volunteer Matrix, and what they do is support volunteer organisations for a fee of $50 a month to have this tool. So I went to the organisations that subscribe to this volunteer matrix, and they have a link within their website of where, so if you had a volunteer who had already been interviewed within your community, in your group, they could then go straight online, see that, oh, Friday there's 3 hours in the kindergarten, oh, I'd love to do that, and just put my name down for that. So it fits in with the goals of the current volunteers that want just a small amount of time or a little snapshot here. You know, I've got 3 hours on a Friday afternoon.
Okay.
So
Was this software developed overseas?
it's American.
American.
Yeah, it's American software.
Okay. Great. So they've got some sort of implementation element to other countries, I'm
I
assuming?
believe so. There's also, they had one one of the companies was also UK that was using theirs. So
Okay.
yeah.
Great. That sounds very exciting. I'm also interested in the notion that you discussed about services potentially being regionalised and where that came from and what your thinking was around that.
I think that came from
That was a discussion with Ken
Ken?
that we had with an interview.
Okay.
So he sort of brought up that idea that potentially, like the health system,
Yep.
volunteer referral organisations could
Be
in
regionalised?
future be regionalised. So by being Volunteer West being the only volunteer organisation currently in the Western Suburbs, it's got really good grounds to cement the foundation and then grow from that. So if regionalisation was to come in, you're already part of.
Yeah, look, I think that's very true, and it seems like it is on the cards. I think because the closer we get to our review, given that our funding runs out next year, I think that's very much a likelihood. And I think this would place us very well, and I think it would give us an opportunity to have something that's very different from what other services are doing, and also to build on the social media that you spoke about as well, which would be great. And we do need a lot of work on our website and social media. I've only been in the job 6 days, but I can see that already. so thank you very much. And great work. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank you very much.
Thanks.